Roger, so much going on, but I think the word of the hour is their whole Russia narrative has collapsed. They're the ones illegally spying, no proof of Russia. But expanding into that, they're now trying to openly call for us to be shut down and censored. David Brock is publicly going to Google asking that we be banned.
Alex, I think that's a very good summary. Coming up at 3 o'clock Eastern is the Podesta Hour, because now what we figured out is this entire Russian Trump collusion meme was invented by Podesta himself, and it's ingenious. It distracts attention from the fact that it is he and his brother and Bill and Hillary Clinton extracting millions and millions from the clique around Putin. And it sends the national media and all their fellow travelers within the media into a media frenzy trying to find non-existent links between Trump and Russia. So I think the American people need to be reminded of the corruption of the Clintons and Podesta in that part of the world. This is his time in the barrel that I was referring to. As you saw, the president himself tweeted this several days ago, so he gets it. Have is a campaign of disinformation. Now, as you point out, with the Russian claims collapsing and no evidence or proof that would ever hold up in a court of law, it becomes clear that their plan to wiretap, in essence, to put the president or a candidate for president under surveillance and then a president-elect under surveillance was based on naked political motives rather than any legitimate concern about Russian infiltration into our American political system. This is why they have to go to Google and Facebook and pressure them not to carry the real news.
Because we are kicking the living daylights out of them. And I know our audience knows this is fake, but they're the foot soldiers, the true commandos, the shock troops. I know you know this, folks. We have to keep getting it out because they've now gone back, as I just played 10 minutes ago, to saying, oh, yes, we have the secret intelligence that he's a Russian agent. So they've gone back full circle to 3 months ago as if we have no memory. And I keep going back to this goldfish thing, but Gruber and others admit it. They're betting everything on the public not having memories, Roger Stone.
Yeah, it's absolutely right. They continue to have nothing. They keep changing their story. The New York Times wrote on January 20th that they had emails, records of financial transactions, and then on the 30th, they added to that telephone intercept transcripts, proving collusion between Trump associates and the Russians. Where are they?
Well, they have the former head of the Pentagon's Russia program, Assistant Secretary of Defense Evelyn Farkas, saying everything was spied on. Again, but then there's nothing there. Now they say Nunes talking to Trump is a Russian plot. Now the House Intelligence Committee head can't talk to Trump. These people are crazy.
Let's be clear about this. Chuck Schumer and Adam Schiff are desperate because Nunes is getting much too close to the truth. Nunes is a patriot. He's not an attorney.
Isn't it crazy, though, that this is just normal courage and telling the truth, but in a Congress full of cowards, the guy's a superstar?
Well, and the attempts to discredit him, the Daily Beast today. I think the Daily Beast is actually dictated at the Democratic National Committee, and they just take it down over
Well,
the
they
phone.
admit that. That came out in the WikiLeaks.
I mean, this is an absurdity. Nunes is a hero. InfoWars listeners, just as I've urged the followers of Stone Cold Truth, should contact his office and commend him for standing tall in the face of this liberal, assault.
And he has stood tall. Let's shift gears.
He's done the right thing.
What do you make of the DNC firing every staffer they've got? When Trump fires 46 U.S. attorneys, it's the end of the world, even though Clinton fired 93, totally normal. The Democrats are firing all their people.
Well, at least they got fired, unlike Mark Rich. He took 3 in the back of the head. Pardon me, what's his name? Mark, the fellow who handed the documents over, not Mark Rich, but Seth Rich.
Seth Rich, yeah.
Seth Rich.
Oh, his family says it's foul play.
Being fired to being shot in the streets of D.C., and the Seth Rich crime is as yet unsolved.
So everybody should email their friends, their neighbors, their coworkers. Tune in next hour to hear the proof, which is, we know, but now it's all come out. Him, his brother, all of it, literally on the Russian payroll. And we don't blame the Russians. That's what we do to them. The point is they do that for their country. We do it for ours. Trump has no connections to Russians. He's just approaching it as a business deal by business deal. If it's better for America to have coal, so what if it hurts Russia? I mean, you know, quite frankly, a lot of what he's been doing is devastating Russia, and I'm sorry for them. That's just the way it is. But the claim that he's this Russian agent, that's more and more getting put to bed. But people should tune in to see all the proof of why Podesta cooked this up. Just like he's under investigation, the FBI, Wiener for child porn. We said that first in the news. So they get the media to focus on a pizza place, get us to cover it so they can divert off of what they're doing in New York City. They're very, very good at that, aren't they?
No, it's extraordinary. Look, some of the incredible investigative work that is being done about regarding child sex trafficking out of Haiti, being done by people who are allied with the
top Hillary operatives.
This has not yet, I think, had the full exploration it needs to have in the media. But,
can you imagine if we had a photo of Hillary?
As long as there isn't, but as long as there isn't InfoWars, as long as we have free access to the internet, the truth will always come out. Well,
I'm excited. You'll go live about 8 after. I'll do the first 5 minutes to take calls. Thank you, right. Nico. Nico's bringing news. Yeah, Trump is a Chinese agent. Holy Toledo. Now, oh my gosh, they take everything we say that's true about Hillary and all my intelligence sources and the missile secrets and the congressional hearings and meeting with Chinese generals in the White House and taking money. And now they know that I've said we should come out that she's a Chinese agent, that Trump should say this, and there should be hearings, and they headed us off. Thomas L. Friedman, this just broke. Trump is a Chinese agent. Wow, I guess I'm going to be one in a minute, too. The big story everyone's chasing is whether President Trump's a Russian stooge. See, now that's failing, the new thing. Wrong. That's all smoke screen. Trump is actually a Chinese agent. He's clearly out to make China great again. Just look at the facts. Wow. Next level, Roger Stone. They are desperate. We lose Roger Stone? I think his phone just cut out. Yeah, Roger, your phone cut out for a minute. Have you heard the latest? Trump is now a Chinese agent? Yeah, we lost him. He's coming up about 15 minutes. We're going to go to your phone calls right now. Roger will be on Skype, I'm told, not phone. He's getting the studio set up right now. Okay. Wow. The Chinese Communist president 2 months ago in Davos, in Switzerland, on top of a mountain, said, I will block America and Trump. I'm buying up Hollywood. They were like, oh, we love you. Oh, please help. Please help defeat the Americans. That's how sold out our elite are. They literally go, defeat the Americans. They don't even identify. You understand? This isn't rhetoric. They literally are. I've shown you hundreds of articles and clips saying the Chinese communists will save the New World Order. The Chinese were burning down part of Paris yesterday because one guy got killed by the cops. It was a Chinese citizen in some raid. The Muslims out of Turkey are saying, we rule you, submit, or we'll burn down the entire of Europe. I mean, this is last week and this week. I've entered. Everything we said is happening in live time. I can't even believe how crazy it is. I can't believe our response is at 10 times worse. I'm not a fascist. I don't want violence. They're calling for violence. They want COG. They want overthrow. They're communist Chinese run that oppress their own people. They're Islamic bullied and run. I guess only the Muslims and Chinese communists got the nerve to push folks around. Well, you're pushing the wrong people around. If Trump arrested 5,000 Chinese agents tomorrow and arrested the leadership of the Democratic Party that's been working with the COG to overthrow the president, I would absolutely get behind it. You're going to get jury trials, okay, before you get your asses thrown in prison. But you want to arrest us? You want to shut us up? You want a death battle? You got one. Fill your hands. That's a lot of talk from a one-eyed fat man. You're going to find out in the end, aren't you? A little bit of poetry there. You can pick it up. Let's skip this break so we have more time. I need to be a show soon and all this. That's point blank. Let's go ahead and talk to Shane in North Carolina. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Concerning Noam Chomsky, as an absolute gatekeeper, he basically was a red flag for me. Several years ago, I was kind of new to the 9/11 Truth movement, and came across the video where he was invited as some kind of keynote speaker.
And he was attacking me and others in 9/11 Truth and saying it doesn't exist.
And he was saying it was just irrelevant and it doesn't really matter who did it. And
Oh, yeah, I forgot. It's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. Who did 9/11? If there was a question about the Saudis in the 28 pages, which, again, is just part of it, it brings it all down. Exactly. No, that's what I mean. I'm so sick of fake intellectuals who just act like they've read the classics or act like they've read philosophy or act like they've read 500 books on World War II. They're fakes. The guy picks a few big words to wow a bunch of people that think he's their guru. Go ahead.
James Corbett did a great piece dedicated to Noam Chomsky a couple years back. It was all about an hour-long piece about different examples where he's a gatekeeper, and Richard Gage called him out as being a gatekeeper. You know, I think, you know, he doesn't want to implicate his buddies in the Mossad for 9/11, you know, or his elite buddies all across the board. I mean, he's obviously a gatekeeper. I mean...
Absolutely. I don't want to just attack Chomsky. It's just some old guy with hair growing out the end of his nose with a bunch of weirdos, like he's like Yoda. He sits on little stools and goes, when he's funded by the power structure doesn't like Trump. Because if he has his way, their monopolies are over. And we're all going to be fabulously rich if we're willing to work. Look at how each generation gets more wealthy. Under globalism, that's all going to end. Everybody comes to America because of the free market. Is it perfect? Hell no. Does America have problems? You bet. But she's the sexiest lady there is. God bless you. I appreciate your call, Shane. God, I love this country. See, I used to grow up hearing how great Texas was and how great America was in my family. And I thought it was some type of pride, just some type of arrogance. I never liked arrogance. I misunderstood. It was more reverence. Because as bad as Texas and America is, God, compared to the others, it was totally different. And I'd hear this stuff growing up, and then I read history books, and it was real. Like, this ancestor did this, and this ancestor did that. And I actually looked it up, and it was, like, true. And I was like, wow. Then I thought, well, everybody must feel this way, right? They're like, well, everybody feels this way. And that's what's so frustrating is that there's a whole birthright for everybody. I don't care if you're black, Hispanic, Asian, white. If you're my neighbors, I just want you to be into success and happy and cool and want to have a good time. It's what you think. It's what you do. It's not what color you are. That's so obvious and so fundamental. But you look at the left today, what they push is the complete difference to that. Quite frankly, being around people that just look like you gets a little old, you know? But see, what they're doing is all forced. And it's all just lowest common denominator, a bunch of entitled scumbags trying to rule everybody. It's not going to go on forever.